Hello, good night, everyone. Thank you for having me on. I wanted to say hello. I have a few other streams connecting, and now they're live. Great. So, thank you for taking the time to watch this live. My name is John Ruman, if you haven't met me before. I'm going to talk briefly about a story I had just recently of a person I met, a woman who's a business owner, been around business for about a year and a half, and trying to succeed in business, but having a lot of struggles. And I kind of wanted to walk through with you why it was so important for her to understand the value of the most important skill in business. So, again, if you don't know me, my name is John Ruman. I'm an international business coach. I'm a corporate trainer, consultant, and I run a sales training company as well. So this woman, very passionate entrepreneur. She was quite amazing and really had a great story. She had always been passionate about her product. It was one of those personal, like natural body kind of line of products, very passionate about it. And she actually had gone through tremendous steps to figure out how to package it. She hired a person who helped her with all the marketing side. By marketing, I mean she built a Shopify site. She went and learned like all these different kind of advertising classes, like you can advertise on Facebook, Instagram, etc. So did all these things to learn how to start the business. She even took an accounting class, and then she came to me again after roughly 18 months of being in the business and was honestly struggling financially, totally desperate, for lack of a better term. And the reason I bring this up is this situation is not unique. And if you or someone you know is in a situation like this, then maybe this video can help you. So we had a discussion, and so I like people to find out the answer for themselves so they have the aha. It's a much bigger aha when you come up with your own potential answer to a question rather than someone else telling you. People don't like being told what to do. So if you've never been coached before, coaching is basically through questioning, helping people to uncover answers to their own problems. You don't have to be an expert in something. You have to be there to challenge people to grow. You do that primarily through quality questions. So I said, okay, you got this business, and it's a great business. I love the product line. I genuinely do. Very high quality, beautiful stuff. Honestly, one of the higher grade at a very competitive price point. So all those things are going for her. And then, so I said, okay, so let's dig deeper and see what we can uncover. So I said, well, how about we start with, so you took this accounting class, right? What did you learn from the accounting class? Well, I got my money coming in, I got expenses coming out, I got to understand that certain things are expenses. Okay, I gotcha. So the primary thing in the accounting is what? Well, understanding cash flow. Okay, great. So cash flows with that. And then you took these classes and you hired someone to develop your website and all that. What is the whole intent of making the website? Well, the website was to showcase the products, maybe show a differentiation, and to hopefully convert people to buy, because it's not only a beautiful site, and it was and is quite beautiful, but also the intent was that it would convert people to actually purchase. I was like, okay, gotcha. Now we have she took this Instagram, Facebook, etc., these various advertising classes, and really became quite knowledgeable about Facebook pixels, about posting, and all this kind of good stuff. And then I said, okay, great. So we have the digital presence, which is wonderful. Are there other methodologies to get this out there? And she actually had a whole game plan. She hasn't really implemented because she had spent so much time, energy, and money on these digital platforms. And there's nothing wrong with having a strong digital platform. So I said, okay, so let's try to narrow this down so we can see if we can come up with a common thread or common issues, and then maybe we can address them. So I said, you got this accounting class, and it taught you primarily, correct me if I'm wrong, cash flow, right? Yep, cash flow. And then you took you created a website with the intent of having people visit so they would become clients, something like that. So I guess so that's how that would be, right? And then we have the advertising, and the advertising would be to create sales. Great. So do you think there's a common thread between these? And she thought. She kind of sat there. We wrote them down. We mapped them out. So I put cash. I had like a whiteboard. And she was like, yes. All of these involve a transaction. The intent of every single one of these aspects is to create a transaction or transaction related. So it's a great. So we have accounting, which is obviously, when there's transactions, you create cash flow, whether positive or negative. And then we have a website, which hopefully creates sales, etc. She also had personal networking and other things that she could do, and had just started, as I mentioned, but hadn't really gone into it because she was very, very afraid of that. And then last but not least is marketing, again, to create the transaction. So I said, what would be another word that would replace transaction? She thought there for a sec. It's a kind of like John's challenging me. Let's see what he's getting at. And she was like, well, I guess you could say besides transaction, what's another term? A sale. I'm like, okay, good. So how good is it to say that you're selling? She goes, oh, I don't like that at all. I was like, oh, what's wrong with selling? Well, salesmen are sleazy. Like, oh, okay. So would you think there's a potential link between your belief in selling and your ability to sell? Oh, totally, like you could just see it in her face, and a total realization that her inability to sell was really what was holding her back. Everyone else in their industry does make sales online, yes. But depending where you are in the world, I live in Trinidad, and this woman lives in Trinidad, and all of her colleagues who had been in the business or are in the business made a fair amount of their money in markets, maybe selling to corporate, maybe doing event planning, or collaborating with wedding planners, all these creative ideas, spas, etc. And she didn't do those because she didn't want to sell. She was scared. She didn't have the skill. And this is where it actually comes to the crux of the actual title of this actual live, which is sales is the number one skill in business and investing. That's a quote from Robert Kiyosaki. If you don't know, Robert Kiyosaki wrote the best-selling business book series of all time called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, followed up by Cash Flow Quadrant, etc., etc. He has a whole line of books. And one of the reasons I say that, note what I said. Robert Kiyosaki is the best-selling of all time. And he not only says this as a quote from himself, but also that you must understand, I'm not the best writer. I'm the best salesperson. I've created a book that sells the most. Yes, writing has a certain level to do with it, but more has to do with how well it resonates with the audience. So with that, I want to reinforce to you the importance of you becoming confident in sales. And that you not only maybe encourage you to hire people at some point, but you who is probably watching this are either a marketer, potentially a salesperson, but many people are entrepreneurs and business owners of various levels. The reason I bring this up, it's important that you understand you need to get confident at selling. You are every day selling or being sold to. Let's say you're John and you're married and your wife wants to go to dinner, but you want to do that. It's a sales process, and whoever wins gets the sale, then they get what they want. You can call negotiation sales. The whole point is it's by far the number one skill in business. It literally is the lifeblood of the business. Remember we talked about going back to this lady. If she doesn't have cash flow, she doesn't survive. She's not here to be a charity, a nonprofit. She's here to make money. And she has to get comfortable, and perhaps you have to get comfortable with the idea of making money. So embrace sales. Learn sales all the time. Make sales something you commonly learn. A few things you should always become good at as a business owner: marketing, accounting, sales, leadership, and a handful of other things, okay? But if you're not confident in sales, I don't care how beautiful your products are or how beautifully created the service that you've established. If it doesn't sell or it's not sold, hey, Leon George, good to see you. If it's not there or doesn't sold, it will not help those whom it's meant to help. So your job in the business is not to be someone who has cool products. Your job in the business is to make sure those products get into the hands of those that need them. Don't be stuck in creating really cool ideas about how neat the business is, about all this minutia that people spend so much time and energy on, wasting when all they need to do is learn how to sell. Also, another favor, because I've seen it several times locally in Trinidad, and I'm sure it happens everywhere. When a business is started, it's very, very important that the business runs lean. With that, many businesses start to hire people. So let's say they get funding. Someone gives a person who's an entrepreneur wants to start this business, they got an MBA, it doesn't really matter. And they hire a whole bunch of people to fill a role. And then they have this monthly bill, which is payroll. Payroll is for the majority of businesses who have an actual staff of any size, the largest expense, if not number two. It's very right there. So the reason I bring this up is that's one way of doing it. You raise money, hire a bunch of people, pray that it works, and let the business catch up to you. Don't do that. Reverse it. Start super lean. Struggle. Figure out how to make money with little old you. Maybe hire a virtual assistant or two. People who can work remotely for you, help you to actually overcome these challenges. The sooner you figure these things out, then you can slowly expand. There's an amazing book called Profit First. I strongly encourage you to read, as it will help you to overcome these challenges. So with that, if you're in Trinidad, if you're a business owner, I strongly encourage you to check out our sales training course. It's 6 weeks or over 6 weeks. It goes over everything from building confidence, creating a day that gives you a huge amount of energy, because sales is an energy business. From there, it is networking and how to actually genuinely build rapport with a stranger. One thing I forgot in the first class, we also go over creating an elevator pitch, which is your response when someone says, "Hey, what do you do?" And you're able to quickly, succinctly give them an answer. Next class is all about networking. So people are terrible at networking. They may enjoy networking events. They may even be social, but they're not doing them right. They're not building the proper connections, and they're usually just pitching what they offer. Terrible. Terrible. When I go to networking events, I may not have a million connections at the time because I do spend time with them, but the intent of the networking is to build rapport. Genuinely care about other people. Don't just sell yourself. After that, we have a class on the cold call. So you have your warm leads, you have maybe you have a social media presence, you have leads coming in, but the problem is you can only have so many, and you need to reach out, or there's someone that you just want to reach out to that you just can't figure out how to connect with. Call the company. But the problem is, what the heck do you say without being one of those annoying salespeople? We teach you how to create that script and how to actually use something called tonality, which actually is used in advertising and radio, which allows you to make the audience feel hypnotized. by your voice. I just did a little bit there. After that, and by the way, the whole intent of this call is to schedule a meeting. So it's not intended to actually sell. You never, ever, 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 ever sell in the meeting. And then we actually have the meeting. And once you have the meeting, hey man, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Then you schedule a meeting. In the meeting, you build a greater rapport with this person. And most of it is done with questions asking the prospect. You did not pitch at the sales meeting. Most people, again, do a terrible job. And then the fifth class is it's all about closing and handling objections, which a lot of people don't do. They don't even ask for the close. Hey, how you want to pay? Cash or check? Totally makes someone comfortable. This lady that I'm talking about earlier in this live would have hated asking that. But the problem is, unless you ask, you're not going to get, unfortunately. Ask and you shall receive. It's true in sales too. So all of these classes have a role-playing component, every single one. Not only does it make it fun, it's actually high energy, very positive. You can probably tell by the vibes by me, but it's a very positive, lively, fun class. But also, and more importantly, when you're in a simulation, you learn so much better than seminar style. Seminar style is sitting, writing, taking notes. It's awful. You know what I'm talking about. You went to school. We all have. It's an outdated methodology, which is why we use this methodology, and it is game-changing. Reason being, you will remember statistically 90% of what you learned 2 weeks after. Last but not least, all graduates, and there's one more class. In the last class, we actually do every single role play throughout the entire class. It's basically a class of role play, and then they graduate, they get a certificate. We do have a certificate course, and they can come back whenever they want. And this is one of the best selling points we have that no one else does, is we offer free ongoing training. So when you're done, I don't care if you're a company we train somewhere in San Fernando, it doesn't really matter where, or somewhere in their public class, and you graduate, you can come back and take as many classes as you want. It's beautiful. So if you're interested, just shoot me a message. I'll be happy to give you more info. But we have one starting on the 11th, which is next Saturday, 1 week from today. It's 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. The total investment is 2,000 TT, and we do offer payment plans. And if you want to break it up, because it's over 6 weeks, it's actually very easy to do payment plans that way, because you can pay the early and then the second half in the second month. So any questions you have, I'd appreciate it. If you have questions or feedback on what I talked about earlier, if you want to share it or whatever, I'd be more open and encourage that. But if you're in a company, please invest in learning how to sell. So I would much rather help this woman take her business to other levels. We all have struggles. Every business has struggles. But I want you to be in a situation where some things that are kind of easy ticks that will help your business grow substantially, you've addressed. And then I can help you, or some other person like me, I do coaching, can help you to really uncover the big things that can take you to the next level and really help you be the high performer that you're meant to be. So I want to thank you for watching. I want to wish you a Happy New Year. In Trinidad, we say it every day until the next holiday, which is around Carnival. So Happy New Year. I know it's after, but all good. So all the best to you. Have an amazing night. Thank you for your time. I appreciate all your questions and input. All the best. Bye-bye.